It's getting darker and darker, and there's just no way right now for these drivers to know exactly what's going to happen.
These guys are going to have to be really, really careful and tiptoe around the track until it's either stopped. Not even 10 minutes into this race, and I feel like we've got enough strategy going on for a whole event, but still a long, long way to go.
There's Yellowstone, there's Yosemite, but for racing fans and for Grid Life's Elkhart Classic, the destination is Road America, the National Park of Speed.
Free ride in the front of the field here. Look at the wheel tab up the inside for the race leads. We head down to the first corner.
Guys have no idea what they're coming into. Look at this field. They're 2 wide, 3 wide, a couple places slipping.
Side by side for the race lead. 54, 48 through 3 and 4. Working lap number 60, 110 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali power move to the bottom of the racetrack, making the short way work. They're going to touch down the hill. This will be a great run for Fuller here.
Yeah, typically ran off the track in the final quarter. That'll allow Fuller to get a massive.
Here he comes.
Does he have a look?
Oh, big block here by Sanfilippo. Into the grass goes Ben Fuller through turn 1. And Sanfilippo hangs on. He's loose. No! And he crashes hard in the exit of turn number 2. Don't try here, boys. They're going to do it. Gritsko backs out. They touch. They're going to crash. Gritsko going to slam the attenuator hard into the wall. And Tarantassic hits him as well. Has big damage on these cars. That's huge.
Number 4, people are struggling for grip, going out of every single lane, trying to then run. It's getting really insane.
Powered by AWS for the Intercontinental GT Challenge, powered by Pirelli at the Indianapolis 8-hour. We are 7 hours and 18 minutes into this 8-hour event. John Miller way deep on the brakes to the inside of turn number 1 and 2. The spin, the 3 car gets turned around in front of Paul. James Houghton looking for a place to go, but he's got Austin Cobb to the inside. Bit of a gap behind. I think that's about 15th or 16th spot as they come out of turn 3. Big slide over this. Getting a run. He's got it. Going to be a drag racing line. Final corner. Checkered flag waving. Here they come. At Virginia National Raceway. To the line. Thompson, Darling, door to door, banging doors, fender to fender. I can't believe what we just saw.
From the long straightaways of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, to the tight and twisty corners here in Lexington, Ohio, my name is Finney Kuna here with Connor Horn for round number 11 of the Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Kokomo in the Elite Series. That is a mouthful. I haven't said it in a while. But Connor, I'm glad to have you with me in the booth. Looking forward to seeing this race get underway.
Yeah, I'm glad to be with you. It's been a while since I've broadcasted really anything with you, and I don't think I've broadcasted an IndyCar race with you in a while, especially. So I'm pretty excited for a fast track like Mid-Ohio. I love racing this track in stock cars. Going to be the first time I've seen an IndyCar race here, so it should be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. We'll cut down to take a look at the track map real quick here. Coming down the front straightaway in the middle of your screen is not the longest straightaway on this track, so a little bit of a short front straightaway heading a left turn down in towards turn number 1. And then you head flying towards the keyhole, a very big passing opportunity around this track. Then you head flying down the back straightaway into turn 4.
Or it's very difficult to get down onto a hard braking area there. If you go too far, you're in that sand trap and you might be stuck for a while. Then up the hill to turn 5, back down to turn 6, through the S's 6, 7, and 8, and right into turn 9, Thunder Valley.
All right, and with that, I'll wrap up a lap here at Mid-Ohio. We'll cut live here as qualifying is underway. Few minutes remaining, but majority of the field has been set. At the top of the chime sheets, no surprise to most people in this series, it is Adam Blocker sitting at the top of the standings, looking very nicely. Then you got Flynn Lazier, Henry Bennett, Riley Thompson, Brian Carey rounding out your top 5, and not surprised by really most of the other drivers inside the top 5, as they've all been very strong, especially at the road courses. So we'll see who out of those top few guys are going to get it done. I mean, you can definitely put some pretty good money on the 74 because he's extremely quick. He's quick all around, but definitely very quick on the road courses.
He's a threat on the road course. Is kind of surprising looking at the schedule. He's only had 1 win in Belle Isle, and he's definitely trying to make it number 2. 45 laps to do it, and he's the only driver in the 105s he's got the pole by about 3.5 excuse me, not 3.5 tenths. He's got it. Yes, he does have it by about 3.5 tenths over Flynn Lazier, who's in second, as Andreas Ike just went to second by a few hundredths of a second, so he'll get to P2. So it's going to be a crazy start here to see if he can keep that lead.
Yeah, looking currently at Ray Kingsbury in the number 25 car going around the track. I believe he set all of his laps, and I think he may have one more flying lap available for him, so that's why he's still going around the racetrack, but sitting currently in 14th. Seeing if he can improve pretty much smack dab midfield. Looks like we got just about 28 drivers on tap here in Mid-Ohio, and that's honestly quite a few. This is a fairly short road course and not particularly long in length, so these guys are going to be coming up on drivers very quickly. And the big thing for Mid-Ohio too, it is tough to pass around here.
Not really many passing zones. You got to be very careful of where you execute those passes. The keyhole, obviously everyone looks to pass there, but it's hard to get the momentum into there. You really ought to be looking down that back straight into that other turn. You know, the back straight where you have that big braking opportunity. That's where you're going to see a lot of people try to make big lunges and big dive bombs into that corner. If they stick, it's great, but if they don't, you're in for a wild ride. So expect a lot of moves there.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at David Adams as well, currently 18th in the doubles zero machine. Trying to work his way around through the final corners. And a few years ago, we saw, not 2 years ago, sorry, a few months ago, last season for these drivers, when we came to Mid-Ohio, we saw a photo finish out of the final corner right through there. It was a very close finish. I forgot who it was. I think it was between Joshua Chin and some other driver. I can't remember off the top of my head. But extremely close finish there. You don't normally expect a photo finish at Mid-Ohio, but we somehow got one and got a last corner, last lap pass. It was really amazing to watch.
Especially rare in real life as well, but you also saw that close finish, I believe, last year with Scott Dixon and Felix Rosenquist. So this track can put on great finishes no matter what the cars. There's been great finishes in NASCAR, great finishes in IndyCar. Anything that drives here, it's usually exciting, and this Mid-Ohio is always an action-packed track, and it's always a must-watch no matter what series is there.
Yeah, definitely typically tends to put on a show. Adam Crane looks like he's getting back out on the track, it seems. Currently sitting in third place. Well, actually, we sit on board here. We'll see if he does a full lap. He's barely going to have enough time to put one in. I kind of hope he does. If you take a look around this fantastic facility, working through these final set of corners, these are very tricky in particular to get right. And then flying on down the front straight, it looks like he's actually backing off, I think, finished a flying lap. And was able to move up into second place, so not too bad. Only a little over a tenth of a second behind Adam Blocker, so closing up the gap to the front of the field.
You're just barely able to improve by a few tenths, but it is enough, like you said, for that second position, but still not close enough to get the Adam Blocker. And with 40 seconds left, it looks like that's going to be the final challenge that Adam Blocker has to fend off.
Indeed it is. And trying to look at anyone else on the track, Robert Malechka in a trying to remember, Marcus Ericsson theme car, Husky Chocolate, on the side of that Indy car. Comes across the line for him. No time for him put down. So I think that's going to wrap up qualifying here at Mid-Ohio. And a fairly important bit too as well, because again, we mentioned it's hard to pass, so a lot of the busy work done in a lot of the hard work in qualifying, getting yourself up and down the order, but now the hard work is just about to begin here as qualifying is coming to an end. We'll line up the cars and set your grid here in just a little bit. And it's also up. You're saying, sorry?
I was just going to say, I'm interested to see what kind of strategy is going to be like, because I always love looking at the different types of strategies for any IndyCar race. I don't get to watch the IndyCar races enough, but strategy is always the name of the game. And with 45 laps, there could be a number of strategies. Could see 2 or 3 stops, maybe even a 1 stop. I'm excited.
Yeah, indeed it is. We'll get quickly down to setting your grid here. And if I can try to find the button, there we go. And starting on pole, that is not correct. See if we can try to cycle this through here. Nope, I don't think this is right at all. I think there's a bug with it, if I'm not mistaken. So we will, the grid is currently correct on my timing screen. In fact, I'll bring it up on the ticker there so you can read. It hasn't really changed since we had qualifying. Obviously, with Adam Blocker starting on pole, Adam Crane next to him in second place. But yeah, interesting to see how these guys are gonna play it down into turn number 1. Again, this is the Mid-Ohio Grand Prix here for the Indy Elite Series, 11th round of their season. And just coming off of an interesting race at Road America, a lot of strategies involved, and looking forward to seeing how the strategy is going to be for these guys as well. Because one of the keys to the race is going to be the fuel window. These guys can go about 21-22 laps on a tank. And if you can do the math right, that's going to leave them with, you know, if they go on two stints, it's going to come up to add up to around 43 to 44 laps. So these guys are going to be extremely close on fuel. I'm curious to see if we're going to see anyone dare to do a one-stopper, because saving fuel around this particular track is going to be hard to do.
I don't know if any of the guys at the front are going to risk a one-stop, but those guys back there, maybe the guys a little bit in the mid-pack, maybe a Jason Brophy or David Adams, Chris Stouffer's back there as well, or maybe even Ray Kingsbury, someone back there who does not have the track position to start today. Evan Adams down in 22nd. The guys without track position might have to try something pretty desperate like that to get some track position and maybe go for a surprise win.
Indeed, we're going to see who's going to lay it out on the line, who's going to pull the strategy calls to put themselves up on top. As we work our way through the final few series of corners, the field slowly working around. Pace car is off. And here we go. We're green here at Mid-Ohio.
Oh! Who is that? Someone went way off there. Lester, the Lester machines in the 51. He went off, but he's going to get it back going.
Indeed he is. He's going to get it back going. Adam Blocker rocketing away from the rest of the field. Adam Crane in second, Lazier third, Ike fourth, and Bennett your top 5. Everyone getting single file and orderly heading down into turns 4 and 5 for the first time. And you already see a little bit wide was Andreas Ike, and you can see Henry Bennett trying to set up a pass in behind. Henry Bennett had an opportunity just now to throw it up the inside, but is going to play the patient game as everyone working through single file. This is where it gets nice and tight through this track, this section.
Yeah, this section's always very narrow. You got to be careful what you're doing. I'm kind of interested to watch Riley Thompson's race. I think he's the highest qualifier on the black tires in P6. He did a really good job. He's going to start on them, trying to fend off people on the fresher red compound. So interested to see what he can do if this run goes long.
Indeed, it is going to be a very important talking point. Entire top 5 starting on the red tire, and some mixed strategy working through the rest of the order as well. And I'm trying to see if I can get that pulled up on the screen for everyone at home to watch as well, because this is definitely going to be the interesting bit to look at. There you see Riley Thompson there on the black harder tire, the reds being the softer. So the guys on the reds are going to have to save some tire, I would think, especially with the track. Taking a look at the track temp too, it's gonna be a bit tricky as it's a little bit warm, 111 degrees. So you don't want to be sliding on too much because you need to keep as much grip as possible. Austin Aspidi getting past Brian Carey as he's off the track in the 79. Oh, and
spinners. Ray Kingsbury's around and Jacob Oster's around out of that turn. I think that was turn 5. Both drivers separate spins. They're going to get it back going right in front of the field. Ray Kingsbury spun it around. And who was that who had nowhere to go? Someone ran right into him. Alexander Ball had nowhere to go.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the cause of that incident. And there's Brian Carey getting spun around, and there you see as well Ray Kingsbury getting spun around. And I think you mentioned as he came back onto the track, there was another incident, tried to light it back up, and got rear-ended.
And Brian Carey spun coming through Thunder Valley. He spun again. He's got big damage. Ball's trying to limp his car back around. Eric Gonzalez has spun in the carousel as well, so a few incidents early on already.
Yeah, Alexander Ball was the one who rear-ended Ray Kingsbury, and Eric Gonzalez, too. We'll take a look at what happened to his car. I think this might have gone off the track. Just had some understeer.
We'll see here, coming through the carousel, clean there. And
yeah.
just missed it. Just missed his braking point. Could have locked up the tires. That can happen. You lock up those tires, and it just will not steer. That could have been what happened there. So we have a number of cars on pit road already.
Taking a look back further up the order, Adam Crane working to get inside the top 2, trying to get past Finn Lazier. Andreas Ike slowly keeping in behind, and Ike, he's been extremely consistent this season. It's put him in the points lead, although he's been having Philip Krause and Adam Blocker slowly creeping up on him. And taking a look at where Philip Krause is, I don't believe started this race. I remember. I think he said he had a miss this week after he won last time out at Road America. So he's not here. Adam Blocker, though, looking to gain some decent points on his championship competitor, is doing a great job. He's already got a 1.5 second lead over Lazier.
And hopefully he can keep the tires cool while doing that, because those Reds will probably not last 22 laps. They'll last, they probably won't pop, but they probably will not be driving very well at the very end of the run. Depending on how long you go, if you want a 2-stop, you probably do about 15 laps. So hopefully he can stretch him out that far, as he's already, like you said, putting a good gap on that the Flynn Lazier machine, as those two are kind of away from everyone else.
Yeah, and taking a look at Jason Brophy here riding off the back of him, David Adams, Marshall Stanley, Joe Branch, all in a battle for 12th place. You can see all line to stern very close together. And also trying to take a look at these guys. They are pushed to pass uses. Everyone has 10 uses available. Hit the button, get an extra, I want to say about 30 to 50 brake horsepower. Not exactly sure what the number is, as Brophy has a lockup and going to go wide. And you see David Adams decided to take the opportunity and make good use of it. Gained a spot. Marshall Stanley now. Drag race between both of them side by side here. Through the carousel they will go. Joe Branch also licking his lips out, an opportunity. Nowhere to go as Brophy slams the door shut.
Yeah, Brophy was holding up about 6 of these guys as Aaron Gonzalez has retired from the race, but Brophy was already holding up those guys, and it makes a mistake like that so crucial. You're going to lose all that track position, puts himself in dirty air, and he's going to have trouble fending the rest of these guys back. Adams and Stanley are away, and Joe Branch trying to find a way around into the keyhole. Big dive bomb, can't make it work.
Yeah, tries to throw it up the inside, not quite there just yet. He's going to try to get a decent exit, though, and see if he can get back on Brophy. But actually, Brophy got a much better exit, and I think that should keep him clear.
Yeah, that should be enough to work with here. So he's just trying everything, giving it everything he's got just to keep the track position he has. As we got side by side, that's Liam Quinn going for 17th on Robert Malenska the third, as he's going to get that position away.
Yeah, Quinn all the way back here in 17th after starting in 26th. So start in the back of the pack, slowly trying to work his way up. He's already up 9 spots. And ooh, Austin Speedy had an incident. Is down in pit road. Oh yeah, this is a big incident here. Heading to the final few corners, riding in behind Riley Thompson. He was riding in 7th place. Gets some grass. Oh, and a hard lick.
Yeah, he got just a little bit too much in the dirty air there. Just tried to get as much as he could, and just got in the grass. When you get in the grass, there's no grip, and you have no control over the car.
And there you see Austin Speedy. It's gonna be a quick end to his night after looking pretty solid so far. Looking at Flynn Lazier riding in 2nd place, currently over 2 seconds in behind Tony Schowen. You see him actually make a pass on Evan Adams. Evan Adams working his way to pit lane. Not sure what's wrong with the 59 car. I don't see any damage. Maybe a scheduled stop for him, so we'll see if he's trying a different strategy compared to everyone else out here. But if you're in these guys' position, again, the fuel window being pretty tight, what would you want to do? Would you want to try to make it a 1-stop and, you know, save some gas, or do you want to just push the entire length?
I would want to try a 1-stop. I always like minimizing pit stops. The less pit stops you have, the better off you are when you have, you know, getting a chance at a better finish. So I think you have to save about a lap of fuel each and every time. You can go to a different engine mix mode or something like that. I think you can make it work. I think people will definitely try it. I'd be surprised if at least one person didn't. So I would try to stretch the fuel as far as you can go. And by the way, Evan Adams came in pit road. He was already back there in the field. He missed the carousel and clipped the tire barrier. So that's why he was off pit road. And hasn't returned. So he might be calling it an early day.
Riley Thompson also down on pit lane. You can see he's rolling out of his box. So this was scheduled. This was a scheduled stop for Thompson, going on the red tires, and he will come back out. And remember, these guys in this series, they do have to use both tire compounds, so that is also a play in strategy. So if you're started on the reds, you're gonna have to go to the blacks. Start on the blacks, you're gonna have to go to the reds. At some point, you have to use one of them. Doesn't matter how many you use. So we'll see how that's gonna play. The guys in the front kind of hoping, I think they want to get to the blacks maybe sooner rather than later. Depends on how aggressive you are as a driver. And we've already seen a few guys lock up a few times, and that's only going to make the situation worse.
Yeah, definitely going to make it worse. You got to be careful on those lockups. I'm interested to see how this works out for Riley Thompson, because he had decent track position, and with those reds, he can just absolutely rip and make up track position. He's going to be pretty much all on his own. He's got Ray Kingsbury ahead of him, and after that, really not much. So he can use these tires to advantage now, and when the rest of the leaders pit, he might have the track position.
Right on board with David Adams, close in behind Josh Clogg, and you have to be very careful being inside the dirty area. But Adams is doing a great job doing exactly what you need to do in this situation and account for the dirty area. He's getting great corners done, not tracking out on the exits like you see a lot of guys wash out. Trying to have a little bit of a look up the inside into the keyhole, not going to bite. He's also got to worry about Marshall Stanley too in behind. But no, everyone very conservative on getting on the push to pass. Everyone still has over 8 uses. So even despite the fact that Marshall Stanley probably could have used push to pass maybe to get himself alongside, he's going to be conservative and keep a hold of that. So Clog also going to keep that 9th place spot. Adams trying to find some way by, but it's so tough to do here.
It's difficult to find a place to use those push to passes. You have that little short shoot that you call a front stretch, and then you get into turn 1, you have the stretch into the keyhole, and then you have that long back straightaway with the right-hand kink, and then that's about it. You really only have 3 places you're going to want to use those push to passes, so you have to use them wisely when you know you have a good chance of getting that position if you just use it. You have to be very wise about when you decide to get on it.
Taking a look at Andrew Kinsella, started in 13th, currently running in 7th place. And trying to make a move work on Andrew Wood. Right in front of him, Andrew Wood in the 64 started tonight in 9th place up into 6th. So a lot of movers near the front of the field.
Yeah, Kinsella, like you said, 13th to 7th. Carlos Gomez, 14th to 8th. David Adams has made up 7 spots, as well as Marshall Stanley. And then you have Joe Branch up another 7 spots. And Liam Quinn's probably the biggest mover. Started 26th. He's all the way up to 14th already.
And there you see a dive down on David Adams on Josh Clog. Gonna get the spot done. And Marshall... Oh, no! Adams spinning in front just as he's gotten by. Did he stay out of the barriers, though? It looks like it
yes,
initially.
He did. Boy, look at all these guys trying to check up Joe Branch how to get on the binders, and that gets Liam Quinn even more positions as David Adams at least keeps a few spots, but those tires already heated up. He's going to have to keep them heated up and try not to spin again, trying to just fend these guys off.
Yeah, there you saw the group of the gaggle of drivers in behind Adams, that checkup you mentioned. Branch and Quinn. Quinn on the grass a little bit, did a great job keeping the car going in the right direction. That was scary.
And Jason Brophy, Riley Thompson, or no, Christopher and Jason Brophy got into a battle. Brophy had to get on the binders, and right behind him is Riley Thompson on those fresh reds. So this could be what hurts Riley Thompson if he's trying to get track position. He's got all these guys bunched up now. Christopher, who's already getting the rear end sideways in front of him. You got to be careful getting through these guys.
And there you see down into the keyhole, Riley Thompson throwing it up the inside, and Brophy going to yield the spot. At least for now. Let's see if he tries to come back on exit here. Not going to use the push pass. Let's see if he's just going to use good old slipstream to get it done. Gaining, and he's going to back off of it. So it looks like he realizes that he's fighting a losing battle on the different tires. So Riley Thompson will keep that 15th place spot. We'll see how the strategy is going to work for Marshall Stanley. Spun out at turn 5. This has been Calamity Corner here. It seems this race looking side by side. That's with Josh Clog in the 199. Just got loose.
Same thing. That downhill slope just catches people off guard. You think you have the power to get down that hill, but you just don't. You still have to be very careful getting down on the power, or else you're going to do exactly that.
Yeah, you're cresting over a hill there, so the car you don't quite have all the downforce keeping the tires glued to the track in the rear. You just put just a little bit too much gas in, around it goes, and once you spin these cars out once, it's really tough to get back going. You can spin out again very easily. We've seen a few other guys struggle with earlier. As Riley Thompson still trying to make some moves up the order, going to chuck to the inside of Christopher, move himself up into 13th. Kinsella just made a move on Andrew Wood here for 6 down into turn number 4. We'll take a look back at that.
Just a good old dive bomb into turn number 4 there, just perfectly executed, and this time it doesn't look like he spun out of turn 5, so definitely mission successful. Put him up another spot from all the way from 13th.
Yeah, this race already quickly flying by, already just about a quarter of the way on through this event. And it's all about getting yourself into a rhythm, and currently Adam Blocker has definitely found the rhythm up at the top of the order. Taking a look as far as best lap is concerned, he's not run the fastest lap of the race. That goes to the driver in behind, chasing him down. Flynn Lazier is the only driver to run a sub 1 minute 7 around here, just under with a 1 minute 6.989. So he set the fastest lap of the race, but as of the last lap is running about a 10th off of Blocker's pace every single lap. So Lazier is still having work to do, if not just saving his tires for the end here. And that's a big thing. You want to make sure, you want to keep those reds going as long as possible. It's so easy to chew them up, especially considering a lot of these guys still have to go for about another 10 or so laps.
I'm even looking at Riley Thompson's times, who pit for Fresh Reds. He's only running 108, so Adam Blocker's still got him beat on pace advantage without a doubt. And he's probably saving tires while doing it just because he's in clean air, no one in front of him. So far, it's looking absolutely perfect for Adam Blocker.
Yeah, and that's another big thing, too, is the clean air is very, very important for these guys. If you're sitting in behind dirty air, you're going to have to make the tires do extra work because you're not getting that extra grip from the wings on the car because they're struggling being in behind turbulent air of the driver in front. That clean air is definitely key, and it'll help you save your tires for longer. So Blocker on a fairly decent stroll, and even for Flynn was there too, he's what, 2.5 seconds behind, so he's also fairly out of that turbulent air, so he should have a decent time. But guys like Riley Thompson, who are having to push and catch up to these guys, their rear wings, he's going to have to put in some hard work. So these Reds, if he's not taking care of them for the rest of the corners, he's going to be struggle later on.
Look at all the traffic he's coming into. Got another lap car coming out. That's the 51 of Lester, who spun on turn 1 and just got back. You got Liam Quinn leading the field. Like I was just talking about before the one spinner, Liam Quinn 26 to 11th has been a great climb for him so far. He's kind of gotten away from that pack, mainly Joe Branch and Riley Thompson, as Thompson's got a run on Branch, might be trying to get on the button, just using a slipstream, looking for the dive into turn number 5, but Branch won't let him have it.
Yeah, just a little bit too far back to make that dive successful.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was
Lester.
The 51 Lester. I'm sorry, Lester, can't pronounce your name. I don't want to try to butcher it, but
Yeah,
a little bit of an off-track excursion for him. And after starting in 16, back all the way second to last in 27, just trying to make it to the end of the event. For him, hopefully to see if he can gain some more spots, because I definitely think we're not done with guys crashing out, especially as the intensity is only going to pick up. Looking at Riley Thompson here working on the back of Joe Branch. He try to do an over-under through the final set of corners. Nowhere to exactly go, but he's going to get a decent run here.
Can't really look into turn 1, though. It's a tight corner to go side by side, and if you mess up, you're either hitting a curb and spinning or going off track and spinning, and you see how much time he loses just from being behind him through turn 1, so he's got to try to get another run down this long back straight. As the battle for 9th is heating up, Josh Clogg still trying to hold up David Adams.
Yeah, we'll see here. Adams definitely within range to make an attacking move here. You can see him gaining very quickly, is on the button as well. Gonna have a look up the inside heading down into turn 4, see if he can get it done. Gonna get on the binders and is able to get clear for a position that is P9 for David Adams. We'll see if he can keep it. Remember, he got clear and then immediately spun the corner after, so he's got to be careful here to just get down and get to it so he can get away, and so far so good. Liam Quinn has also been able to cash back up to Josh Clogg, so battle for 10th also in the wings as well.
Alexander Ball, the lap car behind there, and the battle for 12th still heating up. Riley Thompson, those Fresh Reds just not doing what he wants them to do right now. He's just stuck in dirty air, stuck in traffic, and can't make a move.
And again, gets a great run through the final 2 corners, but as you mentioned, nowhere to go. Turn 1 is possible, but you have to be very established alongside. You can't make a late diving move. It's a fairly quick corner. Oh, but he's going to get a nice run out of turn 1, though. He's going to try to set up a move here into the keyhole. He's going to pull alongside 3 wide for just a moment with a lap car. Thompson's going to chuck it around the outside. Oh, and was very close to running off the track there.
I think he's going to make it work. He gets to run, and Joe Branch just can't do anything about it. So for finally, Riley Thompson up to the 12th position. But look at the time he lost to Quinn, Clogg, and David Adams and all those guys.
Yeah, going to have to get his head down and get back to it. Well, I'm sure with these guys, with a battle brewing, I'm sure he should be back in the wings for that fight.
That was Dan Ench, letting David Adams and others go by. So he's going to get a little bit in the way of Liam Quinn's battle, but he's going to get out of their way and let them go here, just trying to let everyone by. He's going to really hold up Riley Thompson, though.
And Riley Thompson having to get very much on the brakes right on board there, and see, it's tough to, as a lap car, you want to try to let people on by, and not too many places to do so.
Especially here, you got nowhere to hide here except maybe down the back straightaway. If you're not on the back straightaway, you just got to hold on and hope you don't run into someone or someone doesn't run into you. That was almost Riley Thompson's day over.
Some great battles going on in the midfield, not so much going on up near the front. You can see even from 4th to 10th, Henry Bennett running in 4th and Andreas Ike running 10 seconds behind him alone. and 20 seconds back from the leader, but Ike just looking to pick up some decent points. This has been working for him all season long, been by far the most consistent driver on the grid. Out of the 10 races we've had so far this season, he's finished 7 of them in the top 5, and if he continues that, there'll be 8 out of 11 finishes in the top 5 if he can finish 5th tonight. It's been fantastically consistent, although he's looking at Blocker, looking at potentially, I'm not sure, no, I don't think Blocker would take the points lead, but is going to end significantly closer with a race win. So he's going to probably have to find something or have to hope that Blocker runs into some more trouble. But Ike has been getting his head down and gaining these really solid, consistent finishes to get himself up the point standings.
And there's no doubt about it. Consistency wins championships. Like you said, another top 5 today would be big. He came in tonight with a 24-point lead over Philip Kraus and 38 points over third place Adam Blocker. So Blocker obviously would be gaining points right now, but obviously these top 5s keep holding up, and it's going to be pretty tough to pass him for that championship lead come the final few rounds later in the year.
Carlos Gomez, David Adams coming down to pit lane, so some drivers already making their stops, and you can already see the guys committing themselves to a 2-stop strategy. So Gomez is going to come out back in 15th place, and just 1 position behind where he started. And for David Adams, going to follow. He's been in here for quite a while. Not sure what's going on in the 00 camp, but he's been in here for 35 seconds. So
could have been speeding.
I think he would have been out if it was speeding. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll have to come back to this, but hopefully everything's okay for David Adams, as he was having a very good run, top 10 run until that point. Looks like he's finally now just gotten out of pit road. 47-second stop.
I feel like that had to be a penalty. It didn't look like he put his pit limiter on looking at his miles per hour entering. He hit about 50 miles. He looked like he went about 50 miles per hour while he was on pit road, so that could have been a costly error.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's 35 miles an hour around here, if I'm not mistaken, on pit lane.
I believe it's at least 45 at the very least, and I definitely saw him hit 50, so that could have been a big error there, not hitting the pit limiter.
But yeah, tricky pit road entry here. You're going to have to practice it a few times, especially getting yourself, so you're not getting really slowed down in the middle of a corner as you try to navigate it. But unfortunately for Adams, going to be very far down the order. We'll see what he can do back in 19, see what he can do to try to make it up. Here's Riley Thompson on the button, going to try to have a lake look up the inside of Clog. Clog not going to really have anything of it. Oh, and Quinn getting very close to the rear wing of Riley Thompson there. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, it was almost disaster. Riley Thompson just got that spot away from Liam Quinn. Liam Quinn actually let him by out of turn number 1, so definitely wasn't mad at anything, just a bit of a mistake there. He's going to lose time to Thompson, as Thompson still trying to hunt down that 199. Whew.
You see a replay right there, how close he got to that rear wing, but Quinn's still definitely in the hunt for this battle. We'll take a look at Riley Thompson, and the man to watch this race. He's been having a fantastic, I imagine he's having a blast cutting through the order, going full tilt basically. I think he's just going to try to go on the reds as much as possible. I think it's still due to, actually if you can check for me, Riley Thompson did start on the black tires.
He did start on the black tires, Riley Thompson did, and he pit very early to get onto the reds. So he's trying to charge through the field as Adam Duck spun out of turn 5 as he's reset for the day. But he definitely, and also Flynn Lazier in lap 19, second place comes in.
Yeah, so one of the top 5, first of the top 5 to make their trip down onto pit lane. So we'll see where how this is going to work for Flynn Lazier, and if anyone else has come on down. Just about half the field has come on down. I think we have 15 drivers left yet to make a stop. Actually, it's about a little bit under half of the field that have come in so far. So still waiting on more guys to make a trip down.
He'll come out behind a few lap down drivers. Brian Carey, he also came out behind Hunter Ike up there going through the keyhole right now. So we'll see what kind of time he can make up. Maybe if he can make up any time on that 74 of Adam Blocker, as that 74 was definitely pulling away even at the very end of the run. Close to lap 22 here. Wondering if Blocker wants that one stop as, oh, we got a car.
Whoa.
That was Lester again. He's been struggling all day. He's still in 24th, 11 laps down, but he has had a struggle.
And taking a look at Adam Blocker, gonna stay out yet again. Just about on the upper limit for these drivers before they make their stops. If you want to make it to the end on one stop, ideally you're gonna want to come on lap 20, pit on lap 22, coming to 23. It's going to be easier said than done if you've been playing with the fuel maps, which again these guys do have available to them. You're able to adjust it in the IndyCar, regardless of fixed or open setup. This, of course, being an open setup league. you do have that available, and that is a big tool to use. It really helps you save a lot of gas, obviously at the cost of engine performance, but you know, some might argue it might be worth just saving it, and that's what I love about these races that are kind of close on the fuel mileage. You have the camp of drivers that are able to just push full tilt lap after lap, kind of like what we're seeing with Riley Thompson. Just cutting through the field, able to just push consistently. And you have some guys that are able to run decent laps at a decent pace, but not exactly push. And that, being able to save fuel and make one last stop, that's a big thing to kind of equal it out. And it can really lead to some interesting mix-ups in the order, with some guys just running a little bit more conservatively, but able to save not only fuel, but tires as well. And some guys who are just able to push lap after lap. Joe Branch down on pit lane for his stop, out of his box and away.
Marshall Stanley also came in on that same lap, so they're trying to undercut a few drivers up there. Still trying to find the leader, Adam Blocker, as I don't believe he's come to pit road yet. He did pass pit road again, so he's gonna probably, if what we'd be expecting is he'd be coming in this time by.
Yeah, and honestly, I would think this is going to be the winning strategy. Again, you're going to have to save an extra lap the next stint, so that's going to be a bit of a tall order, especially if you're not particularly good at saving fuel. So we'll have to see, and he's been, again, good on the button. That's a big thing, too. The push to pass, while you do get that extra performance, it's at the cost of fuel mileage. That horsepower's got to come from somewhere, so you're going to be using up more fuel mileage. So that's another thing you have to consider, is not using the push to pass and kind of staying away from it, which I think is also a good reason why we see a majority of the field not even touch it.
Sorry, Andrew Wood had a big crash from 7th place out of turn number 1. I believe he's gone flying after hitting the tire barrier, and he's crashed out from 7th.
This is unfortunate. Having a great day. Oh, didn't even get on the curb. Wow. Hard like into the tire barriers.
Wow, that was out of nowhere too. He was cruising all by himself in 7th and didn't even get on the grass or anything. Just the tires too hot, heated up, and he just lost it. That is huge, huge mistake. Yeah,
and on the black tire as well, not even on the reds. So that was a bit surprising. I guess maybe, as you mentioned, just pushed him to the point where they were starting to overheat a little bit. And a little bit too slick for him to handle. Around he went. That's unfortunate after such a good day up until that point. Andreas Ike down on pit lane in the 76 machine.
And Adam Blocker did not come that time, so he's going to push it even further. So if anything, this gotta, I would assume, solidifies he's likely going to have a good shot at making it on one stop without having to save too much, as he's putting this pace down, and he's able to go 23 to the 24 at the least.
Yeah, he's
pretty good.
Yeah, he's definitely good till the end. And Road America was interesting. That race wasn't exactly looking like it would be a fuel mileage race or a difference in pit stops. It was looking very close because of a safety car that came out at the beginning at a caution lap 1 as Blocker now coming into pit lane. Gonna have to be nice and gentle and down. I think got it slowed down in time. I would imagine he has. And
Jason Brophy came in ahead of him, as well as one other driver, Chris Stouffer, as well. So those two will come out together right in front of a leader. Another driver back there coming in is Adam Crane. Yep. And got some other drivers who already pit. Josh Klog is going to come out in front of Brophy and a few others as well. So that will be interesting to note. Henry Bennett comes in. He was in the 3rd position, I believe.
Looking at Flynn Lazier here, riding on board, working his way through turn 1 now. And coming all out, there is Adam Blocker, the car up the road. So Lazier not able to jump the 74 down on pit lane. Probably could have used that jump in position, but it's not going to happen for him. Adam Crane going to inherit 3rd place. Henry Bennett in 4th.
Even with that very early pit stop, Riley Thompson's still going to come out about 45 seconds behind Adam Blocker, so that was to no avail. He probably was never trying to get the blocker, but he's probably surprised the amount of time he lost just from being in that dirty air, trying to get through that traffic, trying to get through the field. That's how much time you can lose.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to come down a second time, so he's gonna be put, again, looking at the delta, it's about 26 seconds down on pit lane. So looking here, that'll put him back not too far in 8th place, so not really too bad for Riley Thompson. Again, he's gonna be on fresh tires and then gonna be able to push like hell till the end. So I'm sure he's gonna be enjoying that, as it's worked so far for him, being able to push himself up into 5th place at the moment.
And I don't know how many people can go. I think really Adam Blocker might be the only one who can go on one more stop. Does Flynn Lazier pit much earlier? I don't know anyone else who's on that strategy ever.
I think Adam Crane, Henry Bennett, and Andrew Kinsella, I think, all came in that lap, and so did Liam Quinn.
And meanwhile, for Adam Blocker, he just lost the lead. Flynn Lazier just went by him out of the keyhole, which is interesting. So put Flynn Lazier to the lead.
Curious to see if anything brought this on. This could be the fact that, again, these black tires are really, really hard to turn on at the beginning of a stint. I'm kind of amazed that he made up 2 seconds on a single lap, but that's just showing you slightly warmed up reds to completely cold blacks, and you can see the winning the pass right there. But again, that's at the moment, and considering Flynn Lazier, he came in 4 laps earlier, I don't think he's good till the end. I think Lazier is going to have to make another stop, and I think that's also why you probably saw Blocker just say, yeah, feel free to take it. I'm going to pass you when you're down pit lane a few laps later. So Blocker just looking in the bigger picture here. Really the only driver he's racing on the same strategy, Adam Crane, who is just about 10 seconds down the road and behind in 3rd.
A very weird lap. I'm not sure if maybe he's trying to save fuel, or like you said, probably just letting Flynn Lazier go wild.
These black tires are really bad on their opening lap, and with the opening setup, they can kind of mitigate that. It's really bad on the fixed sets, but it's still bad, I imagine, on the open setups. It takes about a decent lap to really get up to somewhat decent lap times. So I think you should be good from here. We'll see. He may even come back on Flynn Lazier, but yeah, the opening laps are really atrocious, especially when you need to have them at full tilt at a place like Mid-Ohio. You're relying on them a lot through a lot of these slow corners.
Yeah, definitely. That's the difference the tires can make. Adam Dock, I thought he spun, but no, you're just stopping those guys by. That was actually Chris Stouffer, who I saw smoke from another spinner. Marshall Stanley spun, and he's backed it hard into a barrier. Another car with Flynn Lazier from the lead is spun.
Oh boy, and some interesting stuff going on here. Take a look at what happened to Marshall Stanley first. Being in the midst of this, working his way through the S's. Oh, and just looped it onto braking, and then Flynn Lazier, he was already sideways.
He did this. Looks like they both did the same exact thing. Lazier clearing the lead, knowing people ahead of him, and looks like when he hit the brake, something went wrong. It's like he had too much rear brake in it for that turn, and just like that, the lead goes right back to Adam Blocker.
Yeah, and Blocker, I guess, was like, all right, I guess I'll take it now before having to take it later. So Blocker going to inherit the lead back. As you mentioned, Lazier back in 2nd place. Adam Crane trying to chase him down. Again, not sure how hard Crane is going to push, knowing that Lazier is going to have to make one more stop for the night. And speaking of which, here comes Riley Thompson for his final stop. Going to surrender 5th place as he comes in to get another fresh set of red sticker tires. And I'm sure he's going to be happy to get back out there and start chasing them back down again.
And you have to use them all up for the next about 18, 19 laps. He's going to use them as much as he can. He's going to have a lap car. Is that a lap car? Don't think that's for position. That was Brian Carey, Ray Kingsbury, another lap car coming out. He also comes out in front of Carlos Gomez, who I believe still also has one more stop. So decent strategy for Thompson. Now he's going to have to run like hell, like you were talking about, trying to get back to any other competitors.
Yeah, there's always a big risk with that. As you mentioned, if you're pushing the entirety of a stint, make one small slip up, entering it in the wall. And we've seen quite a few guys. You saw Andrew Wood make a big mistake, causing him to retire very early on in this event. Austin Espedy we saw make a mistake. Ray Kingsbury. It caused many good drivers some really good spots. So you're going to have to want to keep this car going the right direction. I'm actually surprised to see Andrew Wood is back out on the track after he took a hard lick. Wasn't sure these guys had a fast repair available to him. I would imagine so, because there is no way.
Yeah, he hit pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think the repairs take that short of a time, but he's back out there 3 down, just trying to make laps at this point.
So yeah, all the way back down in 17th, but I mean, I guess it's better than sitting on the pit wall, getting back out there and at least putting some laps in, trying to make up some other drivers' retirements. Actually, I think set to pass Brian Carey in a lap or two into 16th, because he is out of the event.
Might also pass Marshall Stanley, who's still getting his rear wing put back on after backing in. Stanley actually gets out of the car. Not sure if he'll get back. He might not get back in the car. A lot of drivers have crashed, and they kind of didn't expect that, but it's been a little bit of a battle of attrition, a lot of retirees.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I was kind of expecting something like that at Mid-Ohio. This is a very tough track, and from a lot of the series that we have that come to this track, it's typically ends up a battle of attrition, because again, those just small mistakes through some very fast portions of the track, and you'll just end up flying into a tire barrier. And again, all you need is just a little ding in the wrong place, and you're going to end up with a destroyed car. So looking at Adam Blocker here, here's the gap visually back to 2nd place to Flynn Lazier. And then Adam Crane a little bit further on behind. Henry Bennett working his way out of the keyhole, and Andres Ike just entering the keyhole.
crazy pace that these leaders are putting down. That's only 9 drivers left on the lead lap. Josh Clogg's not too far up the road from Adam Blocker either, so it's going to be almost 8 at some point here, and then it's going to be a little bit of a gap to Carlos Gomez. But the blistering pace these leaders put down, it's remarkable.
It surely is. Taking a look back at David Adams as well after his topsy-turvy day. Started in 17th, was up as high as 9th. And then with his very, very long pit stop, down 47 seconds in the pit lane. And even Liam McQuinn, too, I'm just looking at now, he had a stupidly long pit stop, 42 seconds for him. So I think probably also had a speeding penalty. I guess that's what the first one was for Adams. Probably speeding down on entry. So both of those drivers having slowest pit stop costs, putting them back in 14th and 15th, 1 lap down.
And that's where you're really kicking yourself for that one. Speeding penalties are very tough. You're always mad at yourself for them, but especially in an IndyCar where you have a pit limiter to use to just keep you at that limit, it's got to be crushing because you know that you're just a button away from being fined. So it's just got to really get in your head sometimes.
Absolutely looking aboard Christopher trying to fight with Jason Brophy just up the road.
Ooh, Flynn Lazier's got big damage. He's missing half of his front wing now.
Take a look at Lazier. Yeah, that is definitely some major damage, and it's gone from bad to worse, really, for the 4. I imagine we'll see him come down. No, he's going to stay out. Wow.
I just went back and replay lap 25. He got into the back of Dan Ench, and that's where he lost the front wing, and Ench went around just because he was in the
Oh, wow. So he's been out here for almost... He's passed pit road twice and has not come down.
That's odd. He just runs into the back of him. Ench obviously slower than the leaders, but he probably didn't get out of a line like Flynn Lazier was maybe expecting here. He just closes in on him. I think Lazier expected that bottom line to be open. Even then, he kind of missed that apex.
I'm still amazingly surprised that Lazier has not come down to pit lane, because surely you would think he'd be feeling the effects of that, because his lap times, and again, so this is a comparison. Adam Blocker on the black tire is running a 107.8. For Flynn Lazier on the red tire, he's running a 108.6, and you're gonna feel that understeer. You're missing half a wing. You're gonna definitely be feeling the understeer from that car, and in some cases, depending on how he places the camera, you should be able to see the wing damage. So I'm not sure if either he's not noticed the fact that he has damage, or if he does and has just accepted that and decided to continue on, because I'm surprised, because he is due to come down one more time to pit lane, so I thought he would have just come on down and try to fix that car and get back out there.
Yeah, that was a very odd incident. Like you said, I'm surprised he hasn't pitted as well. I think when you run into the back of someone in an IndyCar and the car starts understeering, I think you don't even need to see the front wing. I think that's enough of a hint to know that, hey, I think I'm missing half of it. So, and, maybe it's cooling down the left front tire, that's for sure. The left front tire sees a lot more air. But, yeah, that's going to be tough. And like you said, I don't think he can make it on fuel. He'd have to save a lot, and he still ran a 107.7 last time by, so it's not hurting him too much somehow. Could be a graphical glitch for all we know, but screens he does not have a front wing.
I was gonna say, I was thinking that too, but he hit him pretty hard, to the point where I would be amazed if he didn't have front wing damage. So that was a decent hit. And so who knows?
I don't know. He's coming up on Dan Ench again, though, so maybe if he runs into the back of him again, he'll reappear. I don't know how that would work, but I still don't even know who to blame that on.
Ooh, Andrew Kinsella, I think, went for a little bit of a spin. He's trying to work back on Andreas. I'd like to see if he can get back that 5th place spot, but not going to be able to do so. Take a look back at what happened there. This is heading down into turn 4 and turn 5.
Went for the move, gets to his right side, tries to just send it around the outside, and just loses grip. Has to lock up the tires there to make sure he didn't spin it. So that was a good job. Very heads-up driving, able to save that car.
Look at the handiwork as well. Made that look easy.
Good job. Yeah, that was very, very smart move by him to lock up those tires. Just a really good job.
So Kinsella will continue to try to chase down Ench after a little bit of a heart-stopping moment. Down in turn number 5. They easily have the toe of Ike up in front, and on the faster tire as well for Kinsella. Looking at the rest of the top 5, Blocker on the whites, from the 0 on the reds, then white, down to Kinsella back on the reds, Thompson on the reds, and Gomez back on whites, and pretty much everyone else on the red tire in behind.
Josh Clog had a spin coming right up into Thunder Valley. Same place we saw Flynn Lazier spin from the lead. Just barely backed his rear wing into the tire barrier, but he's able to get away fine. But he's going to lose positions, no doubt.
Yeah, take a look. Just got the end of that right there. And this is, again, very tricky corner. If it's not been turn 5, it's been the corner right before Thunder Valley here. Just if it's been on braking or through the corner, you can see he got some grass in around he went.
Just clipped the grass too wide, trying to get as much as he could on entry, and just got a little too much there. Luckily didn't destroy the car, and he'll continue just fine.
There we go. Closest battle on the track at the moment between Ike and Kinsella. Going back on board with them. And Andreas Ike has 9 push passes left. Kinsella only 5 for him. And Kinsella actually jumping, speaking of which, jumping on a button down to 4 uses now, but he's going to have that extra horsepower and he's going to try to make use of it.
Oh, another spin. Carlos Gomez has spun from 8th place coming to the entry of the trial as this battle goes side by side into turn 5.
And Kinsella going to take it on the outside, back to the inside in turn number 5. We can see almost some contact there between them. Ike had a juke out just a little bit and will be back in 6th place. And as you mentioned, Gomez, spin for him and also will come down pit lane. So we'll see what happened to him. This is after Thunder Valley heading towards the carousel. Oh, under braking. Wow.
Yeah, another one under braking. That's a weird place to spin under braking because usually you don't even want to brake too much there. You're kind of letting it roll through that corner.
Oh, I'm wondering, almost
clip the grass.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I heard the sound effect for it, like he ran over the grass, and also Bennett in the tire barrier. So I think he's gonna have to get some repairs done to that car, but should be at least in a state to get back out on the track once he gets some repairs done. A few drivers down on pit lane as well. That is Alexander Ball in the 12 machine, and also in behind is no, not Carlos Gomez. Someone else coming on down. Maybe I'm seeing things.
That Lester, I think that might have been Lester, the 51, getting down the pit road again.
I see Austin and Speedy on the button. This is to get by Andreas Ike. A Speedy 4 laps down back in 17th after his early troubles in this event.
He does get by Ike just fine, as Ike kind of just lets him go, not really too concerned. I think he knows Kinsella's a bit faster and doesn't really feel like fighting it on the black tires just yet. Could just be letting Kinsella wear him out and use those black tires at the end. So coming to 10 to go this time.
I think Ike probably trying to look at the bigger picture. Unfortunately, won't be able to add another top 5 finish to his repertoire this season, but still looking at getting a nice solid finish inside the top 6. Trying to look for some other close battles going on. Stouffer's still trying to chase down Jason Brophy. He hasn't gotten more successful in this battle. There's a lap car in between them, and I believe that looks like it is Josh Clog. No, that is not Josh Clog.
Yeah, Quinn, possibly? That's Dan.
Is that Lazier?
No, that's
nope, that's Lazier. I can see the front wing's still missing.
Oh, yeah. It's a very easy way to identify a car. Yeah, that's new. It's definitely a new way. Oh, big crash! The 51 of Lester's crashed hard
right there.
now. Oh, and he's almost right back into the field. Chris Stouffer and others barely got by him. He's finally killed it this time. Wide there. He struggled hard today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I might have just not gotten the setup right too. Again, I mentioned this is an open setup series, and lazy spin out on the exit of the corner. And gonna limp that car back down to pit lane.
Oh, Dan Ench is around with Liam Quinn in the same exact corner.
Oh man, yeah. Once you get one car, oh wow, these guys really did tangle. So not sure what happened here.
That's Liam Quinn behind.
Oh,
he just clips him there and gets him back. Wow.
Oh, and the rear. Oh, okay. It looks like it came back on. I was gonna say the right rear was off for Liam. Gonna take a look at this, and again, I think the closing rate, these guys catching Ench through some of these corners, really catching them off guard.
Yeah, that's the second. We saw him, Bradley Thompson, have to get on the binders to avoid him earlier. That's at least the 3rd time the closing rate that Dan Ench has caused something. Liam Quinn, nothing he could do, just wasn't expecting it like you were talking about, and that's big damage. Quinn was in 12th place when that happened.
Yeah, you can see the entire right side of that car. The car is on the jack, so he's gonna probably be back out here in just a little bit, or at least the car's gotten towed down a bit. Really might have to sit down for some more required repairs, as I imagine he wants to try to get that the side pod back on that thing. But a tough break for Quinn. Already had a tough break speeding down pit lane earlier, put him back quite a few spots, and this is gonna seal the deal. He's got 8 laps to go. Not sure if he's gonna have enough time to get back out on the track. We're looking at Adam Block yet again. Still waiting on Lazier to come down to pit lane. I think he's doing about, let's see, about 5 or 6 laps. He's going to be about 2 or 3 laps short, unless he's doing some hyper-mile saving, which he's going to have to kind of hope for. He's going to have to turn that car into a Toyota Prius to try to get some more fuel mileage out of it, but it should still have to make one more stop. And if he does come down now, again with the 26 second pit lane delta, which put him around, I think, 6th or 7th place, where he comes back out.
Yeah, if he was able to save enough fuel without half a front wing, I'd be very impressed. But I don't know. I just don't know if you can save that much fuel and run the pace that he is, because he's still running really good times. 8 seconds, actually gained half a second on Adam Blocker, that time. So even with that damage, presumably, he still has great pace. But I just don't think you can do that and save fuel.
Indeed. And also wanted to mention, too, a lot of the drivers in this field doing double duty today, as today was the Lionheart Indy 500. And good. In fact, that was the reason this race was actually scheduled to go off about an hour earlier, but the admins decided to push it back to let because a decent amount of drivers in this series do also run in Lionheart, and so just to let them make sure the events didn't overlap and get these guys in here, they pushed the event back an hour, and so these guys not only had to do 200 laps in Indianapolis, they had to do a couple laps around here. I imagine they're probably a little tired after that.
I'd be tired. I can barely drive an IndyCar for like 50 laps at any fixed race in those oval IndyCar series. Those things are tough to wheel and be fast while doing it. And you have to set up the car for this one, and maybe the other one. I don't know for sure, but
no, Lionheart.
Work on
luckily,
the IndyCars. Here comes Flynn Lazier for his pit stop.
Finally going to make his trip down to pit lane. Also be able to, well, not by choice, they make you fix the front wing, so he's going to have to spend an extra 5 seconds in his box. But yeah, Lionheart is a fixed series, so they didn't have to spend time on the setup. But I imagine with a fixed setup series, you're going to be fighting some very stiff competition. I've raced against quite a few guys in the Lionheart series, as I raced in the Retro division. Very, very stiff competition, and I can imagine it's very stressful over the course of 200 laps trying to fight everyone off. Lazier's sitting in his box, going to come back out. There's the other half of the wing.
There you go. He's probably not very happy. Maybe he wanted to have that wing off. It was looking like he was making decent lap time.
And you can tell just going to get past Lazier on pit lane. We'll see Lazier actually opting to go on the black tires, interestingly enough, for these final 6 laps. Kind of surprised. Would have thought he would have gone on the reds, so see if he can turn them on, try to get back a 4th place spot. That's the closest. Looks like the furthest he would get at that point, as everyone else inside the top 5 very spread out at this point in the race. Another battle still closing in Brophy and Stouffer. These guys have been tailing each other pretty much the entirety of this second stint. Ooh, a little bit wide and a little bit of a lockup. So a puff of smoke from Jason Brophy as Stouffer trying to put some pressure on him.
Stouffer just can't find a way by him. I don't know about the push to pass his left, but he's probably running dry on those, as these guys have got about 4 to 5 laps to go now. So Stouffer's running out of time. He's trying everything he can to get a run on Brophy, but Brophy's got all the clean air he needs right now, so that's going to make it really difficult for that 13.
Yeah, and taking a look at it, all these guys have been saving out their push to pass as far as laps. Let's see, I'm trying to check. They should both be good till the end. Stouffer maybe a little bit more in the red as far as fuel mileage. Came in 1 lap after Jason Brophy. As they work their way on through the S's. Trying to take a look at you mentioned how much the attrition rate has been. We started with, again, 28 drivers. We are down to about 19. Still not as bad as Detroit Belle Isle last season. That had a very high attrition rate.
Belle Isle, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
He barely got... I mean, this is a narrow track, but Belle Isle is just a completely different animal.
Oh, actually, that might have been... Sorry, that actually might have been this season. Yes, I think that was this season. This was earlier in March. I think there was about 13 guys that finished the race after of the 30 some odd that started. So it was amazing. It was guys all over the order. Some guys in the front, some guys in the middle, some guys in the rear. It was just every other lap a car was going flying off into the barriers, and it's a tough track, Detroit. I would say much harder street course than Long Beach. Long Beach is tricky in itself, but I feel like Detroit, just the way some of the corners are, it is so easy to just get on the gas or just push just a little bit too far, and you have a convenient concrete wall waiting for you if you do so.
I've always loved Long Island. I've always loved Long Beach.
I hope you love Long Island too, because that's where I live.
Well, yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great. But Long Beach has always been a fun track for me. I love going around the carousel, going around the fountain. That final corner is always so tricky. But Belle Isle is just completely different with how rough that track is and how tight all those corners are. You have to be technically perfect, and the car has to be perfect too. You can't miss the setup at all, or else you're going to be in a bear. We're talking about Belle Isle, definitely one of the trickier tracks to tackle.
I actually have a fun story with you calling it Long Island instead of Long Beach. There's a Long Beach on Long Island, and I remember when I first heard that there was a Grand Prix of Long Beach, I thought it was on Long Island, and I was extremely disappointed it was on the other side of the country.
Well, no, NASCAR's always looking for street courses. I mean, that could be the next one. Just go to Grand Prix of Long Island. I have no idea what that would look like.
That would sound awesome, and I would love for that to happen, but unfortunately I don't think they have that on the radar.
They made a fake Chicago street course. If you lobby for a Long Island course, I'm sure you could get someone on board with that.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Kinsella and Lazier, the battle's starting to build up. Looks like Lazier has been able to turn on those black tires, and both these guys on the button trying to get away from one another.
I think Kinsella's in the best spot here. He doesn't have much clean air. He's got cars actually battling in front of him. Austin Espidi, he's gotten away from Robert.
Yeah, I think this is going to help out Lazier a lot if these guys don't get out of Kinsella's way quickly. There you see one driver pulling off. It was Malechka, I think, and then now working through the S's, next driver ahead of them.
Well, they take 2 laps to go. The leader does. Adam Blocker took 2 laps to go a while ago. He's already out of the keyhole as we still got that battle for that 8th position still burning away. Stouffer just cannot find a way around.
Yeah, both these battles getting very close. And here's a look at it. A little bit of lockup there, I think, from Brophy getting into the keyhole. Stouffer still on the back of him. Stouffer on the push to pass as well, trying to close the gap.
Kinsella kind of missed turn 1, so that's going to allow Flynn Lazier to get a run into the keyhole. Might have a dive into the turn, but just not going to give him the spot. Kinsella locks up.
Yeah, and actually Lazier used the push pass down that little bit of a straightaway and is going to get on the button again. Kinsella also going to do so in response, trying to keep it in behind. Both of them 2 uses left. And I think that's just about the perfect amount, as they got 2 more uses for the final lap. Sure, they're going to be saving those for just the right opportunity. Taking a look back at both Stouffer and Brophy as they continue their spat for 8th place. White flag in the air for Adam Blocker, as he has one more trip around this track. Fairly uneventful night for the 74, and I'm sure that's just how he likes it.
Just how everyone likes it when you're in the lead. When it's an uneventful night in the lead, it's perfect. When it's an uneventful night in, like, 11th, it's probably not too fun. But he's definitely had a lot of fun. He's dominated. No one's really been able to touch him. Flynn Lazier got the lead from him for a while, but he was really in control the entire way.
Okay, taking a look back at Brophy and Stouffer as they work their way down towards turns 4 and 5. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen on this occasion. We'll cut back to a little bit further back on the lead lap this time between Kinsella and Flynn Lazier, working their battle for 4th place. Lazier gonna get sideways out of the keyhole, and that's gonna throw away any opportunity he had at trying to get 4th.
Yeah, that was probably it. He tried to gas it up. He wanted that run down the back straightaway, but out of the final turn, Adam Blocker, a dominating win. He wins at Mid-Ohio.
And a fantastic job for the number 74 machine. I think more or less the expected result out of tonight. Started on pole, got it all the way done down in first. Great finish for him. Looking back a little bit further back, actually quite a bit further back, 20 seconds in behind. Adam Crane in the 34, he will cross the line, take the 2nd step of the podium. And Henry Bennett, now working through the final series of corners, will come out and he will claim 3rd and round out your podium. Andrew Kinsella and Lazier. Lazier trying to claw back at Kinsella, who's going to be shaking his hand one more lap, and he probably would have had him, but Kinsella for 4th, Lazier in 5th. Andreas Eich will also fly through the final few corners. He will come in 6th place. And Riley Thompson, your last finisher on the lead lap, come home in 7th in the 56 machine.
A few more laps, Riley Thompson might have gotten Andreas Eich. Eich was really slow in those last few corners. In those last few laps, excuse me. Thompson tried, but just didn't have enough.
Indeed, and great job for Adam Blocker. Didn't have our eye too much on him because, as we mentioned, fairly uneventful day. Got everything he needed to get done. Wasn't anything too out of the ordinary. Just got his head down and went fast and did a fantastic job of doing so.
Yeah, like we keep talking about, no one was even close to him. He had the best strategy. He had the one-stop strategy. He had the minimum amount of stops, and he had the fastest car in this field without a doubt. He was running 107s pretty much the entire night, only a few laps out of the 107s, and one of them was a 106. His in lap actually was a 106. That's how fast this car was on the long run. He was still that fast.
And taking a nice lap around, I think saving some gas, because I'm sure he's about to light it up. And finally going to bring it back home to the front straight, and there he goes, lighting him down.
Now he deserves to burn it down. Watch the front window.
Yeah. Whoop.
Yeah, these are hard to turn. It's hard to turn at low speeds, and that's all it's going to be.
Not sure we knew the camera was there. There was a great parking job right in front of it. Yeah, but a fantastic job for Adam Blocker. I'll take this chance to quickly go through your finishing order. And again, with Adam Crane up near the top, no one really close to even touching him. Adam Crane going to finish in second in the 34, and I'm sure he's probably going to be a little bit disappointed at finishing second yet again. If I'm not mistaken, no, he didn't come home second, came home sixth at Road America. Was running in second and up near the front. I think was actually leading a few laps there too, but just got caught out on the fuel strategy. He's going to have to settle for second place.
There's a lot of guys that had good battles there. Brophy and Stover. Brophy was able to hold him off. Riley Thompson, that battle through the field, it seemed like he was going through the field the entire day, just a little bit short of Andreas Ike for sixth.
Indeed. Now we'll wait just a little bit here for some drivers to talk to as we take a look here at the second page of your results. Looking at Josh Clogg in the 199, was able to hold off for 11th place. Joe Branch in 12th. David Adams able to come back to 13th. I think it's a pretty impressive finish for him, considering how far back he got put. I think got put back around 17 or 18. He was able to claw back into 13th. Carlos Gomez had, and pretty much actually really, I think everyone from this point has had a decent amount of struggles to overcome. Liam Quinn all the way back in 20th after having poking his nose a few times inside the top 10.
Yeah, this was the battle of attrition we talked about. Pretty much everyone 12th or 13th on back had issues. David Adams, that speeding penalty, he recovered. You saw Liam Quinn there, the wreck in the carousel. He's all the way back to 20th. It was all about survival for the guys up ahead, and these are all the guys who didn't survive.
Indeed, and looking at the final page is pretty much almost exclusively retirements. Lester in the 51, we saw him have quite a few struggles today. Brian Carey, Marshall Stanley, Adam Duck, Tony Schowen also. I don't think we caught what happened to Tony Schowen. Went off pretty early in the event. Adam Evans, Jacob Oyster, and Eric Gonzalez rounding out your order. Let's talk to Henry Bennett in third place. Henry, you did a fantastic job today so far to get that car into third place, able to move up 2 spots as well. Unfortunately, weren't quite able to chase down your teammate up in front.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably guessed, we were fuel saving the entire race. So you just had to go on the pace that the fuel saving allowed. Yeah, I think without my off, I went long early on the black stint. I went long at the hairpin and went into the gravel, just avoided the tyre barrier. But yeah, without losing 10 seconds there, I may have been able to challenge for second. But yeah, happy.
Yeah, and also talking about that, we saw quite a few drivers going off the track. How do you think, was there anything that you were doing differently they thought were able to keep the car better on track than some of the other competitors?
I mean, fuel saving definitely helps with that because you're putting less load into the tyres when you're not diving deep into the braking zones. And you're in a fuel map that is gentler on the rear tyres, so that helps a bit with keeping the car on track. But yeah, a track like this is just focused really, and yeah, I lost focus a bit. I mean, the braking zone, your brake marker changes a little when you go onto the black tyres with a little less grip, and I didn't adapt to that, especially early in the black run when the front black tyres aren't quite up to temperature.
All right, well, Henry, you definitely had enough focus to bring back your second podium of the season. Congrats to you, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Yes.
All right, moving next, we'll talk to Adam Crane, who finished in second place. Adam, I think a little bit, definitely probably a better finish than what you had for Road America. We're definitely on the right strategy, the winning strategy this time, with the one stop. But walk us through your night, as even though no matter what you do, I don't think you would have been quite able to chase down 20 seconds to Blocker.
No, 74 was pretty untouchable today. Felt confident that the one stop would be the way to go. Was good enough to be able to put the car P2 and Q, which was good. But right after the race started, Blocker started walking away. I was on a perhaps more of an aggressive fuel save than it seems Blocker was, which is interesting. So I'll have to go back to the drawing board and sit down with the VRS Satellite Racing team, see what we can't do to tighten the car up and get it a lot better for the other races at Mid Ohio this week.
Yeah, and also looking at too the fact that you didn't even touch the push to pass. I think you definitely were really aggressive.
Yeah, I heard that Adam was using the push to pass there halfway through the second stint. So yeah, some head scratching is going to have to go on here, which is always fun to do, even if it's difficult.
Well, still a really solid result for you, Adam, and best of luck to you for the rest of the results, the rest of the rounds of the season.
For sure. Thanks so much.
All right, moving last but certainly not least, our race winner, Adam Blocker. Adam, fairly uneventful day for you up near the front. Pretty much took off since the drop of the green flag and didn't quite look back there.
Yeah, was pretty happy with the pace and the setup, considering we didn't really get a lot of time to prepare. But yeah, Brian and Henry and Wilson and the rest of the guys came up with a really good setup. Yeah, it was pretty good. I think the qualifying lap I did was really good. Was happy with it, and then yeah, just kind of it was a little bit of fuel saving involved, as you saw some guys probably two stops. So yeah, but I always feel comfortable in fuel save races. So was feeling good. I knew I had a good feeling that Flynn was two stopping early, and then he it ended up to be the case, and that was kind of the only moment I kind of got worried was when he had reds on and he was way faster than I was on blacks. I was kind of worried he got tangled, or he spun on his own, and that kind of ended it. I think I would have had him either way, just with how big the pit delta was, and the fact that the blacks eventually came in after like 4 or 5 laps to be decent. But yeah.
Yeah, still a really solid result for you, Adam. Looking also due at the point standings, I'm not quite sure if you gained enough points on Andreas Ike to take the lead, but looking at him and his extremely consistent results this season, what are you looking at trying to get done to make sure you can seal a championship?
Yeah, just trying to win races. I mean, that's all I can really do. Score as many points every time, and hope that things happen. So, yeah, obviously today was a good result, and hopefully, the same can happen at Long Beach and Gateway. I feel pretty good at both those tracks. So yeah, just hoping to do well there.
All right, well, I'm gonna let you go, Adam. Thanks for talking to us, and best of luck for your championship bid this season.
Yep, thanks to you guys for calling the race, and thanks to Joe and all the admins for putting on the league. They did a good job.
All right, and with that, that's going to wrap up our interviews here from Mid-Ohio. Connor, a pretty solid race, some great battling and great scrapping down in the midfield, especially watching Riley Thompson climb his way through the order. Ended up losing net one spot, started in 6th, finished back in 7th, but some of the big gainers for today look to be Chris Stouffer finished in 9th, and Robert Mleczka finished in the 91 in 10th place, gaining 11 spots from where he started.
Yeah, big race of comers and goers and a big battle of attrition. Had a lot of drivers didn't really see a lot of big wrecks. Saw a few here and there, but it was a lot of lazy spins. Turn 5 was the trouble corner, no doubt about it today. And we had a lot of people have troubles getting down under braking as well in many corners. So it was very interesting to watch all the battles around the track, whether it was battle of the lead or the battle for about 15th. There were battles all around the track, and it was really fun to watch. And at the end of the day, you love to see when the fastest driver deservingly wins the race, and that was Adam Blocker today, won by 20 seconds over Adam Crane. It was a beauty of a drive.
Indeed it was, and with that, it's going to wrap up coverage here of the Mid-Ohio Grand Prix here for the Coca-Cola Bottle and Company of Kokomo in the Elite Series. Round number 11, if you want to continue following the series, the next round will be, let's see here, is that right? Yes, that is right. The next round will be July 20th. It'll be the Grand Prix of Long Beach, and we're just talking about Long Beach and how the attrition typically tends to be decently high there and a pretty tough road course. So from one tough road course to the next for this group of drivers, sure to be a thrilling race nonetheless for round 12. So with that, we'll leave you. My name is Fiona Kuna here with Connor Horn. We'll be signing out for tonight. Thank you for watching.